has officially retired from being the voice of Darth Vader. According to Vanity Fair, the 91-year-old actor has signed off on archival voice recordings being used by young filmmakers who plan to utilize artificial intelligence synthetic speech technology to recreate Jones's younger voice from his previous films for future Lucasfilm projects. Now, I take this as two different ways here, because it is a little sad to see someone like James Earl Jones no longer be part of Star Wars. Let's see, is it working now?
Is it?
There we go. Nice. So I'm just talking about James Earl Jones walking away or stepping aside at 91 years old from the role of Darth Vader. He'll no longer be voicing him in any upcoming projects. He's kind of signed over his voice rights in a way for Lucasfilm to utilize speech technology to, just synthetically create the voice of Vader moving forward. My issue with that is we've seen this technology being used with the likes of Luke Skywalker in, actually it was the Book of Boba Fett, even the Mandalorian a little bit. I don't think it's quite there yet. Now, obviously, Vader's voice is a bit different because it is a little more robotic. It's a little more deeper in delivery, so it might work better with Vader. I heard some rumors that Vader's voice in Obi-Wan was actually done this way. I'm not 100% sure on that, but what are your thoughts on this, Ken?
Well, I feel like this was inevitable. I feel like James Earl Jones being at the age of 91, I feel like, excuse me, this road was going to be crossed at some point. It's definitely interesting to see the estates of Stan Lee kind of sign over their rights and kind of sign over like I don't know what the exact word for it is, but kind of signing over their Stan Lee's appearance rights and kind of seeing James Earl Jones follow suit and stuff. It's definitely interesting to see how things are changing with technology introduced into Hollywood and seeing the evolution of it. Because as you said, it's not quite there just yet, but I definitely think with a couple of years of seasoning on it, it will definitely be better than what we've seen before. And I personally think that Luke Skywalker's appearance in the Book of Boba Fett was fine in my book. So
It wasn't terrible, but you could definitely tell there was something off.
yeah, and I think that's part of the consumer's decision to watch it in a way, is that knowing that technology definitely lended a hand in recreating some of the more iconic characters that we've seen in this franchise, and who knows, maybe other franchises moving forward. I know that Marvel's obviously going to start with Stan Lee appearances at some point, and it's just interesting to see how things are going. I don't know. I never remember reading about this a couple of weeks ago that they use some sort of I don't want to say AI, but some sort of really state-of-the-art technology to bring James Earl Jones' voice back in Obi-Wan, as you kind of alluded to before. And I remember stumbling upon an article, so it's definitely funny that you bring that up. I definitely want to read more about that and kind of know more about what went into it, and probably gives me a kind of a vision of the future and how they would utilize it, because it seems like Darth Vader might become a prominent figure in their projects moving forward. And for me personally, that's always welcome. You know, we could always have Hayden Christensen provide the body for it and let the linguistics and vocals of it kind of be toyed around with this technology. So I think it's definitely something that Lucasfilm probably reached out to James Earl Jones and kind of initiated, but it's I believe it's done now, so it's going to be interesting moving forward to see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. And you hit the nail right on the head there, because while it is, in a way, it's a sad day because such an iconic character, such an iconic actor is stepping aside, stepping back from a role that has defined him quite a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, James Earl Jones has done a lot over the years, but excuse me, nothing as iconic as Darth Vader. I mean, if you hear that voice, you're going to think one of two things, either Mufasa or Darth Vader. So it is a sad day to see him step aside, a big part of my childhood for sure. But you then have this knowledge now that they're licensing this out because they plan on utilizing Darth Vader more in projects down the line, which makes me excited because I know there's such a huge cry, an outcry from fans to move away from the Skywalker trilogy, move away from, the Skywalker stuff. But when you get down to it, I mean, you can't. You need to stick around.
Intriguing. Yeah. And I feel like there's so much unseen for the character of Darth Vader that I just feel like there's so much more to explore with this character in between the years of the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and or the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. And I just think there's so much there that we haven't seen, that, we've gotten glimpses in Rogue One. We got obviously a little bit more of an extended glimpse in Obi-Wan. And I just think that having a follow-up on that, like, personally, I would just do a Vader series. That's just my kind of throwing hat in the ring over there. And that's something that I feel like probably has been discussed. And Hayden Christensen sounds, when he was doing press tour for Obi-Wan, sounds like he wants to do this again for sure, that this was an experience that he enjoyed, and being back with the cast and everything and just being back in that world definitely helped him. So
Yeah.
I hope that there's something down the line like that, but I've definitely
No, I
feel
mean,
in for more Vader down the road for sure.
and I think, we're definitely going to see it probably sooner rather than later, which I'm all for. I don't want to forget what made Star Wars Star Wars. So I
But
want them to, yes, expand, get out, do other things, but even if it's just every once in a while, just falling back into the old trilogy time frame or something. That is one. If you take a look at, since Disney has purchased Lucasfilm, they've gone and done prequel era stuff, they've done sequel era stuff, they've gone, but they really haven't dived into that original trilogy era. Nothing. They did a little bit after Return of the Jedi, things here and there, little spots here and there, but there's still things that they could explore between A New Hope and Empire, between Empire and Return of the Jedi. Like, they could absolutely tap that and get some really good quality story out of there, and they haven't yet. So that's what I'm just hoping at some point. That's all.
you could also make Vader almost like an anthology series where you have him come up, certain episodes come up in like a prequel storyline with Obi-Wan, and then have him in other episodes be the villain that we know he can be in his prime, and even in the original trilogy and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that would be really cool too.
For sure. But let us know in the comments what you think about James Earl Jones walking away, stepping back from the role of Darth Vader at this point. I mean, he is 91 years old. His career has, shifted down quite a bit over the years, and this doesn't take away from the magnificent career that he has had. It's just a sad day being a Star Wars fan, but also one that can excite you a little bit knowing that we will be getting more Vader. But let us know in the comments what you think about all of that.